Hello everyone, today I'm showing you how to make some delicious candy yams with my mama's secret ingredient. Today I'm going to be using 5 large sweet potatoes. This is about 4 pounds, and I'm going to use a potato peeler to take off the skin. Now you could use a paring knife, however I find that I just peel off a little too much of the sweet potato flesh if I don't use a sweet potato peeler, and actually this is really fast. I was able to peel all of mine in about 3 minutes. Now I'm going to chop them into about a 1/2 inch pieces. You want to make sure that when you're doing your candy yams that you are keeping the sizes as consistent as possible. If you don't, then they're going to cook unevenly. So here's all my potatoes nice and chopped, and I'm going to be adding them to a 9 by 13 dish. This is a good size if you're making this for a holiday or for Thanksgiving. And here is my secret ingredient, some Coco Lopez, guys. For all the drunks out there, we are not making pina coladas. We are using this as a nice, rich, slightly coconutty base. I've never seen anyone do this, and when I was talking with my mom, she's never heard of anyone who does this. So this is our secret ingredient. As you can see, I melted about 6 tablespoons of butter, and I only put in about 1/4 cup of sugar. Remember that cream of coconut already has sugar in it, but that brown sugar is just going to add a little bit of that classic molasses type flavor. I melted the butter and the sugar, and then I put in my cream of coconut. I'm going to stir this vigorously so that it'll get well combined, and I'm going to put in my vanilla. And I'm using about a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons here, about 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a little bit of cinnamon and nutmeg, ginger, all your classic candy yam flavors. And of course, I'm going to put the measurements in the description box. Stir them well, and I let them cook together for about 2 minutes, and I'm adding a tablespoon of flour that was just thinned out with a little bit of water. Now, I really should have added this when it was cooler, because now that I put it in here as it was hot, I had to whisk vigorously to make sure none of those lumps got into my syrup base, but it was okay. But if you don't want to have to deal with these lumps, just put it in earlier. But I got a little arm workout on this one, guys. Once my syrup was ready, I poured it over my candy yams. Of course, I want to make sure that the mixture is covering all parts of the yams, and we're going to let this cook in a 350-degree oven covered with foil for 30 minutes at first. If you love easy, flavorful recipes, please subscribe to this channel. I upload every single week. All my recipes are easy, and they're super delicious and have great, bold flavors. Now that my candy yams have been cooking for 30 minutes, they have released a little bit of water. I'm going to mix my candy yams because I don't want any parts to get dry. So just mix them a little bit, and at this stage it is okay to mix them because they're not too soft. But as your yams soften, you want to refrain from mixing them. I'm going to let them cook for 30 more minutes covered, and you can see that now my yams are soft. At this point, I will not mix them because I don't want them to break apart. But I'm going to cook them for 15 more minutes uncovered just to dry up a little bit of the syrup. Here's my yams after cooking for 1 hour and 15 minutes. They're nice and tender. However, I like my syrup to be a little bit thicker. Now, if you like this thickness, then you certainly don't have to do this next step. But I have my pot from before, and I am very carefully just going to get out some of the liquid. I end up taking out about 3/4 of the syrup here and adding it to my pan. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to reduce this syrup by about half and then put it back on the candy yams. Now, see how gentle I'm doing? I'm taking this syrup out. I'm just tilting it and just using the spoon to get it out. You don't have to get every last drop out. It's okay if you can't, but you just don't want to mix it around. Now, here's my syrup after letting it reduce by about half. As you can see, it's really thick, almost caramel-like, to be honest with you. I can knock it up to the side of the pan and it'll stick. And I'm going to just put this right back over my candy yams. I really love this caramel texture really that has been created with the yams. It's very unique and very flavorful. That Coco Lopez flavor has concentrated, but it's not overwhelmingly coconutty. This is the only way I've ever had yams So I know the Coco Lopez is not a traditional ingredient, but I love it this way. I really can't eat it any other way. I feel like the other ways are just bland without this nice little flavor. So I'm just mixing together the syrup that was left in the pan with the reduced syrup, and I used a little spoon to spoon over that loose syrup, and it came to a really nice texture on my yams. Again, don't mix because you don't want to break up the yams, but this is it. This is a very delicious, easy side dish, great for Sunday, great for holidays. If you just love this recipe, I hope you subscribe and join me again in Kamira's Kitchen for these easy, flavorful recipes.